In today's episode of Summa Talkies, I'm in conversation with Apoorva Jayaraman, who is an astronomer and a Bharatnayam dancer based out of Chennai, and she's a Bengalurean too. Stay tuned.
3, 2, 1. Kataki! Okay, this is so awesome. After trying settings for half an hour, we have finally come to this place. Okay, that was a little bit for the intro. See how sweetly she's smiling. She's just like, Vandu Martindum Barran. So, whom do we have here? Very good dancer. More than that, the senior that she is, she still considers me as a musician. Oh my god. So, we have Apoorva Jayaraman today. Everybody. Okay. What's up? How come in Chennai? Bigger question.
Chennai,
Yeah.
thanks to Corona. Very much Chennai. Otherwise, I have managed to escape the Kattiri Veil of Chennai every year.
Every year, no? Ice.
Yes,
Tell me about
this
it.
time, thanks to Corona, very much enjoying the bliss of Agni Nakshatram.
Corona is. Hey, dude, Agni Nakshatram is the place for vadam making, bro. That's what we are doing right now at home, you know.
Vadam making.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Adalang konjo. It's a very
I
different.
know. No. It's above science. See, dude, I live with family, so they can try all that thing, and I can like probably help them out. You think I'll sit and do this when I'm doing
They are
alone?
trying. You are
Even
not we. Don't use the word we.
hello. Of course it's we, dude. Even I'm going and sitting over there, dude, so that Kaka doesn't come take it off and go and all, dude. அந்த பயம் இருக்கட்டும்.
That is.
All of us are like one kaval and we're like sitting
Can
over
I
there.
please see photographs of this? I think they're. Yes.
Yeah, sure. I'll like take pictures of it, but no one's taken a picture of me sitting and all. I was just doing it right before this. And then I was like, listen, 11:30, I have this thing to do, so I'll like come and do. Hey, 11:30, you did not hear, okay? This was not recorded before, this is not being put later, okay? Shut up, be quiet, okay? Okay, very good. Viewers, this was for you people. Okay, so, I've had the fortune to know Apoorva for about 5 years now? 5.
I think so, yeah.
5, I think. 5 or about 5 years. And do you want to say how we like met, if you remember it?
Hey. See, memories of Kalakshetra for me are very much wash out. So please share. What was that?
Okay.
meeting home?
No, so our this thing actually came through a common friend. Okay. This guy called Siddharth, who is now he's become Herbalife man. And I was like, hey, how come is this? How small is this world? And then I actually just walked up to her one day and I was like, do you know Siddharth? She's like, yeah, we kind of worked when you were like when I was doing my course abroad. And I was like, oh, so where are you from? She says Bengaluru. I am like, oh my god, home is coming. Full like tears of happiness and all I got. So that's how I got to know her. And yeah, mostly our bonding has been more on the Bengaluru connection, but we've also bonded a lot over arts and how things should be and
Yeah,
stuff
but
like that.
mainly over Bangalore for sure.
Yeah, I swear, tell me about
The
it.
pain of separation. Actually, when
Tell
we
me about it, dude.
Chennai from Bangalore. No, I think Bangaloreans are like that. Once
Yeah.
you get spoiled by that city, right?
Tell me about it, dude. That you go tell some Chennai person, and like, oh, you think conservative is something? Today, no, 40.8% of people are like that, like this. I'm like, hey, dude, go eat Sakara Pongal, dude. Your mum has gone and made some
We
Sakara
never have
Pongal,
this
go have.
conversation with Chennai. Now we are in
Ah,
secret conversation.
I-
Bangalorean to Bangalorean
I-
understand each other.
I swear, dude, tell me about it. It's and yeah, and then so I actually didn't know you're a dancer and all when I initially met. I thought you were an employee, honestly, honest to honest talk, okay? Because me and dance are so well connected. That's why. Okay, so I'm like, what is happening? Who's this? And everybody's like, oh my god, oh she's coming, and they used to like flip and all, like girls and all. They're like, "Hey, what is happening? Oh, and all. I'm like, okay, am I supposed to know this person or like, hey, enough, okay, enough of downplaying, okay, everybody knows this, huh? I'm like, okay, wait, I think I'm being really ignorant, and then I read up about her online and all, and then I was like, oh shit, awesome, this is so cool, and despite that, like, she's like damn humble, and she's just like coming and talking like it's nothing and all, and then I saw her dance. I was like, sorry, wrong assumption. I am sorry. You are awesome. You are epic. So yeah, it's been it's been that way, and we've been wanting to do something, but it is the collaboration that never happens, but it should happen. So yeah,
Slow and
that
steady. I wouldn't say never
very
happened.
soon.
Yeah.
That's the thing. No, we want it to happen, but it never happens because half the time you're not in this country only.
That is true. But
Yeah.
again, thanks to Corona, with everything happening in the virtual world, collaboration being also pushed forward because now we have figured out how to live in the virtual world, right?
I swear, tell me about it. So, listen, just like I'm sure people have written enough and more about this and things, but there are obviously viewers who are probably not very in tune with the dance world and stuff like that. So, probably if you could tell me a little bit about how it began, where it began. You have to tell me about your school story scenes also, which you told me. Remember?
Which I'm gonna
Oh,
carefully.
please, like you don't know, only go.
Okay, so what do you want me to start with today? We'll start story.
Anywhere
Where
you-
do want me to start?
Anywhere you think it deems fit, because there is no length connected to this. Nobody's going to tell me
So
to
my
do anything.
dance
So
journey, yeah.
your dance journey and what made you put the big move rather and say, hey, you know what, I think I should come to Chennai to do this, and what prompted
long
you to
story,
dude?
but
Let's face it, it's
very long story.
go for it, go for it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I don't mind.
when did I start? I started learning when I was a kid. I started learning dance when I was about 5 years old, and
Okay.
it just came. My introduction was in kindergarten, right? So my first teacher
Right.
from whom I started learning my basics in Bharatnayam, she used to come to the play school or whatever it is, and she used to teach us little things. It was a very nice play school where they introduced us to a lot of different kinds of things. So I guess that's where like the fascination for dance
For
sort of
dance
began. It
started.
was something that really like transfixed me. So that's how it started.
Hmm.
And you know, there are some things just like that. No, it becomes like that. Like it was play for me. So it was
Right,
something that
right.
it was like the best part of my day, right? From the time that I started. So I think there was no, obviously at that point of time there was no plan. I tried everything when I was young. Like I've been to 2-3 karate classes. I have been to piano classes. I've been to tennis classes. I mean the usual, right? When you're like very little, you're still trying to find what you like. I kind of dabbled in a little bit. As in, I must have done like 3-4 classes of everything in my life. Perhaps
Right.
more. I also learned Carnatic music for like vocal for like many years. I shall not say how many, but yeah, but dance is what kind of stuck, right? That became like the consistent thing throughout. So when I was 16,
Oh, so you were trying. So you were trying many other things, and dance was also happening. You mean to say?
dance was the first thing that I started. I don't remember having gone to any class even before. I think just when I joined school. So I must have been in like just finished that nursery school kind of a thing, right? And then I started dance class. So it's been the oldest association. And it used to be the typical, you know, whatever, 3 days a week class and 2-3 hours, whatever, then we do. So that became a constant. Like there was never something that I wanted to skip or say, okay, now I'm bored, or you know, like you don't lose interest. Alongside, as in those next 3-4 years, right, between the age of 5 to 9, I think I've tried like anything that came up. You know, my mom used to be like, "Do you want to go try this?" I was like, "Yeah." And I tried out, and then eventually either interest will fizzle out, or you know, whatever, something like that. So this was what that just stayed very naturally constant. Like no effort was made, but I really loved it. So I used to practice a lot, all of those things. So that just continued throughout school life. So it just became like an extension. It became like one more subject that I used to study in school, almost. It became that serious kind of part of my life. So the really big change as such came when I was 16. So I had finished my class 10, or rather I was doing my class 10 when I uh, brought it up with my parents. I just had this crazy idea that I wanted to move to Chennai for class 11.
Okay.
I wanted to,
Ah.
sort of do advanced training in dance over there. So that, so throughout my class 10, we kind of, debated this. We went to and fro, had a lot of discussions at home because my parents wanted to know whether I really know my mind and is this something that I really, really want to
Something
do.
you really want to do.
And yeah, that was the case. So I did that absolutely crazy thing of moving to a city that at that point of time, I used to still visit Chennai because, family lives here. My mother's side of the family. So it is not an unfamiliar city, right? And with Tamil speaking, so it was not like an alien city.
So yeah.
Yet, of course, I mean, it was not a city that by any means I was, it's not like one of those.
Thinking of like,
So it was like, this way in Chennai, I will go there and learn that.
I'm telling most of these people are like, oh my god, I miss Chennai and all. These are idiots who will barely be in this place, okay? They'll go for half time, they'll be every time outside, and then one day they'll come, Saravana Bhavan coffee. I'm like, first of all, worst place in the planet that Saravana Bhavan is, that place you're going and having coffee, okay?
See,
then they'll come and they'll be like, I miss
fair statement, okay? From the age of 16 to now, I have not lived in Bangalore consistently at all, but still I love
but that's a different thing.
Use that as a reason to say people.
Yeah, well, I think you kind of make a point. But yeah.
Because I still love Bangalore despite the fact that seriously now more than half my life I haven't lived in Bangalore.
Who doesn't? Yeah, same scene with me also. No, I think I think that's gotten to do with the fact that you spent like a large portion of your life there. No, like life by meaning I meant your school days and everything.
Growing up here.
Where like
I think that is very true. I'm not sure I would have. I don't know, but I think it's also Bangalore is a very different city now. I feel the difference even like when I go back there. There was just so much about that time, right? When I went to school, how Bangalore was as a city because it was absolutely uncrowded. It was extremely green. Like the weather was amazing. It's beginning to get hot even in Bangalore right now, unfortunately. So a lot of things, first of all, were different as it is, and second thing is there was what do you say? Before there was this huge influx of IT people coming into Bangalore, right? I mean, it was still a migrant city. It was still made up of all kinds of people. So there were so many pluses about it. So it doesn't mean people spoke only in Kannada. All languages, sold. In school, like the friends gang used to be all kinds of people. So I
all kinds of people. Tell me about it.
Sense of having grown up with a very, very diverse bunch. It was
never
this, when polarized, Egvada, Indamadri people, these are the kind of people you will meet. So you meet so many kinds, yet everybody has that commonality, right? You're like Bangalorean at heart. So that was extremely great. And I think the fundamental thing about Bangalore is that it's a very, or rather was certainly a very, very open-minded city. Very advanced, right? So Bangalore, man, very open. Yeah. I think that's for me, it's always been the highlight of Bangalore, right? Everybody minds their own business. All kinds of people are
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
And it's cool. Everything's cool. Right? Nobody's in the other person's business. So obviously for me, it was like when big, huge culture shock going from Bangalore, jumping into Chennai. That was a 16-year-old. I think I was clearly, far more rebellious and like fierce about things at that age, and I was like, no, I will not be like this. I will not, think, because I was used to a place like Bangalore where really, you could just live your life and nobody cared.
Yeah.
But suddenly
nobody would care.
In Chennai, it obviously warm up to it in a way that you understand eventually where people here are coming from. But initially, the only thing for me as a 16-year-old was like, why does everybody want to have a say in my life, and why does everybody want to know what I'm up to, what I'm not up to, all of those kind of things. So it was a huge culture shock. But but the fact is that dance is what kept it going. Otherwise, I would have run back like within 1 week of coming here.
Same scene.
But yes, definitely the city offers you that, right? I don't think my journey in dance would have been the same at all had I not made that move. It would have been like world of a difference, right? And you know that because you've gone through the similar kind of a thing. So
Right.
yeah, so 2 years in Chennai. So that was my 11th and 12th. I studied here. I stayed in a working women's hostel. So I did all kinds of crazy things like that. And it was obviously first time living alone, right, in your entire life. So
Ah,
from the tiniest thing like knowing how much you're spending in a month to uh, taking a auto or bus on your own, everything was like completely
yeah,
like new. So it was fun.
yeah.
It was a really fun
Hmm.
time for me in terms of that. Like that completely overshadowed whatever
Hmm.
little issues I had sort of coming into the city. And of course that
Right.
that period was like really my golden period in like my dance training. I think it was very, very, very crucial and like very, very special, very memorable. After that,
Hmm.
I think that started off a long chain of not living in the same city forever, more than average of 2 years, because
Nice,
I was in
dude.
Delhi for 3 years, in Oxford for 2 years, Cambridge for 4 years, and then now back in Chennai, which is now the longest stint since I left Bangalore, since I left home. This is the longest that I've
Ah,
stayed in any one city at one time, because
one city at one time.
yeah, because what? It's been, I came back in 2013, end of 2013. It's already 2020. So yeah, this is the longest
Ah,
I've
so
stayed in one city.
okay. So you came here in 2013. I came in 2014, I think. Yeah, 2014 is when I
Makes
came.
sense because see,
Makes sense. Ah, 4
2013
years.
December is when I joined Kalakshetra. And
Ah.
I met you the following year when you joined, right? That's
Hmm.
the year
Hmm.
all of you guys, like Evelyn and
Yeah.
you're the
No, no.
same
Evelyn
batch.
was my. Evelyn was my super senior, I think. She was my super duper senior. She was like about to graduate, or she was in third year or
No,
something like
Evelyn
that.
also came to Kalakshetra after I came. She was
Yeah.
not already there.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
But because she was not my batch, I think she was one batch away from me, or she was two batches ahead of me, or something like that.
Hmm. Okay,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Another dancer for the viewers.
Yes.
Simple. Okay. So, um, but like you were telling, right? So you came to Chennai and all that learning happened, and it sort of changed your this thing. How, like, as a layman, if someone comes and asks you, in which way, like, did your perspective change? If you can like put me through that bit, how would you probably tell?
But dance?
Yeah, like how did your outlook about like things change, apart from the fact that you came to a city and then which is kind of poles apart, and then you come here and then you try, on top of it you have to also figure out your dance, right? So what was that like one bit which just made you say, oh god, okay, there is so much to learn here, and how did you like assimilate it at that point in time? One thing is you had in your head that, okay, listen, I want to do this no matter what, and then one thing is you have that, you have that persistence to like make sure that, listen, I got to keep at it, I got to keep at it, I got to keep at it, right? So what was that thing that pushed you and made you say, okay, this like made you all the more realize that, okay, this is the place where it should happen no matter what, like this is hope, kind of a thing. I don't know if I
See,
put it in right
I
words, but
wouldn't
yeah.
say, I don't think any of those kind of things played in my mind at all. Like, this is where it's
Okay,
going to be, this is what it's going to be.
I
I
see.
think the one thing that I always sort of pat myself on the back for is I think I had
Uh-huh.
clarity even as a youngster in terms of what I wanted at that moment and where I was sort of heading, right?
Okay,
So,
okay.
but yes, what Chennai did do for me, see, I came in because of one and only one reason. It was Kalanidhi Mami, right? Kalanidhi Narayanan, who's a legend in Abhinaya teaching. So she was the one who planted that idea in my head. I had the opportunity of learning from her when I was in Bangalore through workshops, and then steadily that became individual classes whenever but it was whenever she visited Bangalore. And at some
uh,
point, she planted that idea in my head. Nee vaa vandu kattuko, like come and learn. You know,
right,
this is not
right,
enough. This once
right.
1 week in a year or 2 weeks in a year is not enough. So I think that's where it kind of started. So I was very clear
uh,
why I was coming to Chennai. I was coming to Chennai to learn Abhinaya from Kalanidhi Mami, and that was a
um,
world she had already opened up for me. It was
right.
a crazy, fascinating world of like, oh my god, what is this? There is so much to learn. There is so much to do, right? That kind of a thing.
Mm,
So that's why I
mm,
came, and that
uh,
clearly, I mean, without doubt, was being fulfilled at you know at a sort of a at a level I can't even imagine, right? So that was
Okay.
the Chennai experience. But
Ah.
what I did not expect or anticipate, which Chennai did for me, again, with respect to art, is I think, see, I would say that about what the dance world in Bangalore at that time was, it was a very tiny bubble, very kutti
I
world,
see.
right?
I
So
see.
your
I see.
ambitions are also very, usually what you kind of get, you obviously get inspired by your surroundings, right? So your ambitions are also based on the highest achiever in your little bubble.
Right.
Right? You want to be better than
Right.
that. That's as far as
Fair.
the reach is, right?
You can think.
And Chennai opened that up for me. You suddenly come here and you see like, hey, so life is not all about growing up and starting a dance class or growing up and, dancing in that one, like in Chaudhaya Memorial Hall or whatever. I mean, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
The horizons of my ambition, if I can call that, for dance really opened up. So I think that definitely the city, I think, does for you. Apart from the individuals who really influenced me, right? Which was Kalangi Mami and Priyadarshini Govind, absolutely, who were individuals who greatly influenced how I thought about dance. And you suddenly say, "Wow, there's like so much to do, right? So much to learn," and that one simple thing kept me fired up. I don't think I was thinking about professional or what am I going to do, or I'm going to become a dancer or no. But you just feel like there is so much more to learn. There is so much more to learn, and it is enough to keep your mind excited and occupied. That's all I cared about, and that's what I did. But when I think back now, definitely the city did that one more thing for me, right? Which was show me that hey, the world of art is not this, right? It's that. So even in terms of ambitions, I think it really, in a very healthy way, reshaped my ambitions, right? And how far I was looking. Like I think you were very short-sighted when I came from Bangalore in terms of immediate results. So I think that definitely is something that it did for me, because it is what gave me also the clarity and the courage to clarity to decide that I needed to go out into the world and become my own person before I came back to this world. Right? Because I knew it was not about what I already knew. I knew everything. Oh, now I can, take a dance class, or now I can just go and perform everywhere. I knew how much I had to travel, and it was a journey. The world of art was so much bigger than learning to dance, right? Or learning to do whatever movements perfectly. So it became very clear to me that there was no hurry. If dance is where I wanted to come back, I needed to kind of go discover the world, discover myself, and come back, which is what I did. Because even after those intense 2 years of training, I was away for 7 years? No, what am I saying? 9 years. 9 years away from Chennai after that, both like from my undergrad, from my master's and my PhD. So, but I there's not one bit of regret in terms of what I did. Like I think that was the perfect thing to have done, because it's made me the person I am. I know what I want to be as a dancer today, right? Which is not just based on an external image, right? It is something that comes from within me, right? A kind of a drive that's there. So yeah, but that has been the trajectory, and now I'm here, back here.
Fair. So that 9 year phase, no, which you were telling me about, that you kind of went out and you came back, and it was a good thing that you kind of had a change of city, which kind of widened your horizons a little more in one way or another. How was those 9 years, though? Like, how were those, like for instance, now if I go back home, no, sometimes, once in a while, what happens to me is, like, even if I'm there for 2 days, no, like, I feel lazy. So I just feel like coming back over here again. That's why I'm like, love-hate relationship I have with the city, okay? Because I feel so lazy to do that. So it's probably not just the place. So how was it when you change cities, and to just keep that persistence, saying, okay, listen, I gotta sit and practice, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. What was that one key factor that made you say, okay, listen, I gotta be at it, even when you were outside the city? In those 9 years time.
See, I know that lazy feeling. That happens for me even now when I go back to Bangalore, which is home. Right? That is home.
Yeah.
So that
right.
the moment I land there, I know I don't have to move a finger. I know I already get into like this holiday mode. So that still happens to me. But
Ah,
when I moved cities, I didn't go back home. I was going further away from home actually,
further away
right?
from.
So like and going into newer phases, which also keeps you active in that sense. Like I went to study an undergrad, I went to study, do a PhD or whatever. So it always keeps you on your toes in that sense. So it was not, you don't get into like one lethargic mode, right? And dance is, in different phases, I think it's been different things have also kicked in, and I've discovered that about dance because like uh, and many times it's just been that it's what sustains you, right? You're so frustrated
Okay.
maybe by what's going on outside, academic studies, this or too much
Oh,
pressure,
okay.
whatever. It becomes that release. It was that place where I felt that I could very positively just calm myself down, that 2 hours of dancing will do the job, and then you go back. It has been that from time to
Okay.
time. When
Okay.
I just left Chennai, it was it was just habit. Like sometimes your body needs something, or it's like craving maybe. Like you have a craving for
Ah.
sweets, right? It's for me,
Ah.
it was that kind of a thing in Delhi. It was not something I
Ah.
said, oh my god, I haven't practiced, so you have to go and practice like on Monday for these many hours. It
Right.
is what
Right.
my body demanded of me, because for me, literally from the age of 5 to the age of 18 when I moved to Delhi, I don't
Hmm.
remember a phase of my life without dancing.
Right.
There's literally absolutely, like, even through my 10th standard and 12th standard exams, I have gone to class, I have danced, I have done programs. Okay, so it's like that, it just becomes like a thing, like your body just needs to do it, right? So Delhi was not at all
Right.
difficult. Plus Delhi, the one advantage I had is I came back much more frequently, simply because of
Oh,
accessibility,
okay.
right? Like, so
Ah.
I would come back, not even back to home to Bangalore, but I used to come to Chennai to my teacher's house
Ah.
once in 3 to 4 months almost, and I used to stay with her
Ah.
for almost this is the auntie, right? I used to stay with her for like
Ah.
2 weeks, 3 weeks at a go, and it became like full,
Right.
like 24 hours. Okay, all your waking hours is like something related to dance. So it became like you
Hmm.
also get refueled, and then you go back, and then
Hmm.
it sustains you for the next four months or whatever it is that I was there. So if in Delhi it was like that. Oxford was a slightly different phase for many reasons. Because when
Right.
I went for my
Right.
masters, I
Right.
also decided that was going to be a phase for me where I wanted to discover physics properly. I wanted to. It was almost like I felt that
Yeah, you know what, I think you should give a little bit of context on how you were actually an undergrad in physics and you wanted to take that dimension further, because a lot of people actually don't know about it.
yeah. So that's what I studied. What I did in Delhi in St. Stephen's College was a BSc in physics. That's what I went to study. So I also knew from the time that I was in like 10th, 11th, and all of that, that I'm not this. I didn't want to do engineering. I didn't see any. I mean, for myself, I did not see anywhere.
Hmm.
The typical
Hmm. Hmm.
engineering, medicine, blah 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 list, right? But
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
asked
Hmm.
myself, what is it that interested me? And towards those growing years, I don't think younger I had much of a specific fascination, but definitely
Ah.
post 10 standard, like physics was something that it made sense to me, right? Like
Right.
it that
Hmm.
thing that explained the world around me.
Okay.
It was not as abstract as math gets, so it's still very at some level tangible, and has an experience. It was just a subject that fascinated me at that point of time.
Hmm.
Interestingly, I think I understood nothing of philosophy, but I thought philosophy fascinated me. Okay, so I don't even know why.
Acha.
Now don't ask me. At
Ah.
that time I thought, oh, what will I study? I will study physics and philosophy. This was my
Ah.
whole thing. But of course, I mean,
Ah.
in about 3, 4 years, I figured that I knew nothing of philosophy whatsoever, and I was very glad I didn't
Okay.
take that option up, because I don't think I would have sustained very long in it. So I liked physics. I wanted to study it. That's all. There was nothing
Right.
else
Right.
to
Right.
it. And if I was studying it, I wanted to do it in the best place that offered it, right? In the best environment. That's all. That's how I went from place to place. So Delhi was that
Hmm.
undergrad, right? Living in hostel. And then
Hmm.
I moved on to a master's in Oxford. But when I went for my master's, that was a phase that was a little different. But it was again different by design, because
Oh. Okay.
it was a point where okay, now that you've done an undergrad in physics, serious
Ah.
considerations begin, right? In terms of what is your future, are you going to into physics, are you going into dance, these kind of questions that was the first time where all of that started subtly coming. It comes into your mind. It also comes into like when people will ask you, "Oh, you finished
Right.
today? What are you doing now?" Like it starts setting,
Ah.
right?
Ah.
And for me,
Ah.
I could never answer the physics or dance question, which I still, even today, I don't think I like answering that question. This or that, which do you
Okay.
like better,
Ah.
right? But at that point of time, it was a very simple thing. See, what we do in school and all, like, or at least my personal experience, I feel school physics is not physics. Okay,
Okay.
they just teach you
I
some
see.
kind of, it's like you're learning Sari Varisai in a very dry way, Mali, but learning the basics, the
Okay.
basics.
I see.
But the
Right.
joy of doing it is not given to you in
I
school,
see.
or at least my school
I see.
experience was like that. So I
I see.
really started actually understanding what the hell physics was about in college. And for that, like,
Right.
I'm very, very glad, like, I'm very thankful to the college and particular department I went to, right? Because
Okay.
fascinating professors, people who were like, they would look at physics like it was like a painting, like it was a piece of art, which is very fascinating.
You mean the people from Saint Stephen's or Oxford?
From St. Stephen's
I
in
see.
my
Lovely.
undergrad, because I think if that had not happened, if the intervention had not happened, I definitely may not have gone on to do a master's or a PhD at all. But here were like professors in my first year undergraduate, right? So it was really fascinating sight, because these people were so in love with what they did, and that I resonated with, because I knew that feeling with respect to dance. I didn't know that
Okay.
feeling with respect to physics, and I was like, wow,
Okay.
like
Oh
they are
wow.
really looking at like one Newton's law is like as though they've done an alapane or something like that. Like there was so much
I see.
beauty in how they looked at it, right? Which is extremely,
Right.
and I think that is what hooked me. It was not the rigor, the challenge. I don't think now looking back, that is never something that sort of drives me fundamentally. Fundamentally, what drives me
Right.
is that there's something here that's grand. There's something here that's
Right.
so fascinating, right? Which made me work. So,
Right. Right.
but so when I went to Oxford, I decided
Hmm.
maybe it was time to give physics a fair chance, in the sense that if I were in the future, if I wanted to answer the question, do I want to do physics or dance? I just needed to give it that same time, and like a fair chance. You know what I mean? Because
Same
I had
time.
done
Yeah.
it from the time I was 5. But I
Okay.
had done physics, like I said, school physics doesn't count. So I had done 3 years of physics by the time I finished undergraduate. So I'm like 3 versus 13 or 15 or something like that. I'm like, this is hardly a contest. So I can't, it's so stupid if you asked me, this or that at that point
This
of
or that.
time. So I decided, okay, Oxford, there's 2 years of masters is going to be that phase where I'm going to give it that fair chance. Like I'm going to really put myself into it and see whether I like that life, right? Where it is less of dance and more of physics kind of a thing. And that's how Oxford kind of panned out. So in the 2 years of Oxford, I don't think I did I did one performance, maybe something like that. Chennai though I didn't even perform. I didn't even come back and perform. I used to practice once, twice a week for sure. But even that I kept within sort of, I was like, no, let's give the focus over here. So that was Oxford for me. And I went to Cambridge to do a PhD in astronomy. So, as like galaxy formation and that kind of stuff was what I did, observational work. But there, dance came back full swing.
Okay.
It was also like everything was organic, right? So, dance never left. But it also found very different dimensions when I was in Cambridge. Like, I started
Okay.
choreographing stuff for the local, dancers over there. I started a university society called like Cambridge University Indian Classical Arts Society. So we started something to basically to popularize Indian classical arts within the university, because nobody knew. When I went to UK, and people ask you when you are meeting your other companies for the first time, they're like, oh, so what do you do? What do you like doing? And all of that. And I said, oh, I'm a dancer. Oh, and so they make connection. India dancer. Oh, Bollywood dance. No, boss, no. No, very, very far from Bollywood dance. And initially, I used to get very angry. So like, what is this they? What does this they think about India? Like only Bollywood. But then I realized it's not their fault. It's our fault.
Yeah.
Like people abroad know only what they know about India is Amitabh Bachchan, Shah Rukh Khan, and they know chicken tikka
Elephant.
masala. They don't
Elephants
know
also. Elephants.
anything more than that. So if I wanted them to know about Bharatanatyam, I have to show them what Bharatanatyam is, right? I have to
Right.
copy that. So that
Right.
was something. So things like that took over my kind of preoccupied my dance interest in Cambridge, which I, again was an extremely useful experience. It was a lot of fun. It was. It's also a time where you just do, right? I think it is a great phase in life where you're not thinking about who's thinking what about you, or in general, I think you're much more. I don't know if you agree with me. Like I feel that age is so naturally fearless, right? That early 20s kind of a phase for me. It was so naturally fearless, and I was just like, you want to do something, you do. Like you don't overthink it, over question it, or at least that's how it was for me, right? So it's a lot of fun, and so the connection with dance was always solid. It took different forms, right?
Forms as
different, stages.
Right.
By the time I wrapped up my PhD, well before that, I would say, like even about a year and a half before I was kind of winding up and beginning to write up and stuff like that, I knew this is where I wanted to come back. Or rather, I think I always knew dance was where I was coming back. I always knew that, even though I never said it out loud. But I knew it was time. I knew, okay, now's the time. Like, I don't want to, there's nothing more to go out there and explore. It's time to, come back and do what you actually want to do. Right? So, yeah, that is my life story. I have told you a
lovely, nice, no, longer the better. Because I know, like, because the passion with which you're talking about physics, no, I could never have that, dude. Now that I think about it, especially with science, like I remember our so this 9th standard teacher, no, so I clearly remember this, right? There was this. Were you CBSE or ICSE?
ICSE till 10th in Bangalore, and then I shifted to CBSE 11th and 12th.
Oh, that must have been quite a shift. Okay, so I was in CBSE. Okay, CBSE, ICSE also used to have this thing called give reasons, where they'll just tell something and then you'll have to say why is that, no. So there was one reason in that. There was this thing called when you hit a carpet with a stick, dust comes out of it. Why? Okay. And it had something to do with some energy or something like that. You hit it and there's some energy applied and stuff. I'm like, there is dust in it, so there is dust coming out, okay? And the teacher could like she was so embarrassed for life, no? So like, dude, why did I even make this fellow talk about this type? I remember, man, like my so we had our practicals. We had our practicals for 10th, and there is this one this thing, no, that static electricity and where you're just trying to whatever wire stuff and to create electricity or whatever, right? I could never parallel series and parallel resistance or something. I could never understand that only. Okay, I'm like, what parallel resistance, series resistance do? Switch on the switch, you will get current, dude. You shouldn't touch your finger on it, you'll get current. That's how pissed off I became with it, right? And then and there was this one thing. What is that thing? Dude, why don't I remember? Oh yeah, it was on the convex and concave mirror experiment. Okay.
Yeah.
Where you put light and then it'll come. That, no, somehow I got it. Like I had my cousin who came and she explained. She's also one physics punt and all. Okay, so she came, somehow explained me the ray diagram and all this stuff, and I somehow got that. So I was like pakka ready with it. And this electricity thing I was damn scared. I was like, boss, if this thing is coming, my board practicals are literally gone. Okay. I pick the chit and I get convex concave mirror. I run. I'm like, Appa, I'm finishing this before anybody does anything. And I figured it and I got it done. Okay. So this was one. Next was biology. You give me a compass also, no? I can't draw a circle properly. That's how amazing my drawing skills are, okay? I clearly remember there was one heart that we had to draw, right? Now, so obviously, I was horrible at science. So I was put to tuitions for that also. Maths and science, I was horrible at both. So I was put to tuitions. So science, no. So maths, obviously, even in my boards, I didn't get that great a mark compared to the other. This thing, it was like really bad, but it was better to what I used to be like. So that's how the whole thing was, right? But science, know what happened? This lady I used to go to tuitions for, me and another friend of mine, rather. The way she started giving us notes, no, it were very simple words, but they were very easy to understand. So you could literally get a picture of it again. Like when they're saying how is blood getting pumped out in your heart, she literally wrote it in a way that you could literally picture it in your head and you could like imagine it and write. Okay, so when I started learning it that way, it really worked for me. I was like, this is awesome. Then comes that other twisty part. Okay, diagrams. Appa, I used to be worse. Like I'm like, dude, why can't every diagram in biology be like an amoeba? Where you can just draw whatever you want and you can get done with it. Like,
that is amoeba.
yeah, like something you can draw, you know.
No, but see, that's the thing, right? Like I think it's always many factors come together for you to like or not like something, because it's sometimes as simple as that. You have a teacher or somebody who's introduced you to it in a way that is, oh, this makes sense to me, right? It was not a blanket science thing to me, right? I like math and physics. I disliked chemistry. Like chemistry was the pain of my life, even though I had to take papers even through undergrad. And for the life of me, even today, I do not understand. I just do not understand the subject. But it's very strange, right? Because they're all science. They're in the same stream. It is simply because my introduction to science, like I think when we started in 8th or whatever, unfortunately was a very misplaced introduction, right? I never learned the basics properly. Never. So afterwards, that's all. Afterwards it is gone. Like there is no resurrection of this. But it's like that. It depends on the kind of teachers you have. It depends on, sometimes how somebody helps you visualize it. For me, physics, even though I didn't necessarily have the best of teachers through my schooling at all, it is true. In fact, I probably had better chemistry teachers than I had for physics teachers. But I could visualize. That was my thing.
Okay.
For me, like everything, I think that is also definitely because of dance. Everything becomes a visual picture first. I don't think quantitatively. Like my first go-to is not formula or like, but it's visual. So visualizing those, force diagrams or like whatever. Everything became like a visual idea. So it became easier for me to, have a engagement, like converse with that subject, right? You feel like a shouting kind of needs.
Right.
So it's always true, I think, and it's true about everything, not just science. I mean, music, dance. You have to be. Something should happen to click, right? You need to be.
Yeah, that's true.
Into it, or you need to be able to see the wow. Okay, this is something.
This is what it is all about. Okay, now let me look into this further. Yeah, understood. And I very clearly remember I had a heart diagram to draw on my 10th standard boards. Okay, and obviously, we are horrible at drawing. And so please don't do this, anybody. Okay, not at all advisable. So we were put in another school, obviously. It was in the same center, right? Worst part, what happens is heart. No, I literally drew the heart like a gate, like a community gate.
Gate.
Like my diagram, it actually looked like a gate with like a fence in the middle, okay? That's what it actually looked like. The minute I saw it, I'm like, okay, fine, whatever.
You would have got marks. So,
yeah,
completely not the heart. How can somebody draw?
Yeah, I know. It was literally that, dude. What I did was, like, instead of having that nice shape and all, I just did toing. And then I just put like one small kuchi in the middle. I'm like, this is that thing that pumps.
What is your name?
Me? I don't know. I think I wasn't good at any subject in particular, dude. Like I would just study because I just had to.
What is the subject you
Okay. Kinda history.
Nice.
Kinda a little bit of history.
What do you say? The fact that our history textbooks are very drastic, but.
Yeah, I kind of liked history because, I mean, again, that also we were like, that's what we were doing in exam. But for like most of the times, I think somewhere I kind of, though it was really dry, but I kind of always liked it. Somehow, even now, no. This is something damn weird, very random. Everyone's like, why am I doing this to myself? I've been watching documentaries relating to North Korea. Okay, dude, what a country, dude, that place is. Yappa. Like, like all these people who are like commenting and all this, no? Like, yes, Kamara, you people. You should send them to North Korea, I'm telling. Okay, 3 days you send them as a tourist, they'll come back. Tundu Tuniyoda, they'll come back running to their place, okay? Dude, it's ridiculous, like how an entire section of a country. Have you watched this movie called The Truman Show? Jim Carrey. No, okay. So Truman Show is this amazing movie where Jim Carrey has literally been brought up in a film set, okay, as a kid. So he's actually playing a role, but he never realizes it. So he's not able to distinguish between the real and the real life, right? So of course it has like a lot of parallels to it and stuff. It's an insane movie. Think of the Truman Show happening on an entire country, dude. That's what North Korea is for you. Okay, Pakka communist socialist country. Everything is restricted. Your thought process is restricted. Information is the most basic thing. Your information is restricted. The minute that is restricted, gone. Full public becomes the thing. Dude, those guys are worshipped like gods. Like their previous dictator, the current dictator, Kim Jong-un. They're worshipped like gods, man. Like they're like, like, so if they're like, say if one of them passed away, all these people are supposed to have a public gathering and things. They're supposed to like exaggeratedly cry. If they do not cry, the military can actually take them down to the concentration camp. That's how it is. Oof. I saw some of the things and I just couldn't believe it. So that's why. So maybe that sort of lingered in me a little bit, and so our board exams, no, our teacher. We were set in a way that obviously we had to be like away from each other and stuff like that, like schools, right? But what they did there, they put all the school in the same class. So the whole purpose of it was somehow defeated. It was just that it was in another place. Okay. But what happened? I was the last kid roll number wise. So I was the first kid in the other class, in the other exam room, which did not have anybody from my school. Right? So this other girl who was sitting next to me was a completely different school. And then from there, it was completely another school altogether. Right? So it turns out, this girl was horrible at history. Okay, so I helped her out in a few bits and places. Don't do this. Don't try this. I'm telling you over and over again, don't try this. If you're trying this, be sly enough to make sure that you can get out of it properly. Okay, right? A few questions she didn't understand. I taught her some of those 5 2 markers or something, and I just like. Then comes science exam. Okay, now this one is a genius at science. Okay. I asked her a question, tuck. She literally had everything in her fingertips. Chemistry, some 10-12 marks I copied from her. Okay. Then physics comes in. Physics law, what happens? Physics also, some 2-3 places I don't understand. I asked her and she tells me. So basically that's how we helped each other out. And but majority of this thing I did, okay. Those 2-3 but some 10-15 marks I owe her. Pakka. She helped me out. Balance everything. I was like, Amma Sami, after this, no science. It is okay. I will sit and watch YouTube videos on science. I don't want the subject in my life anymore. Yeah. That was my thirst with science.
That's the one, what do you say? Not the best part about our education, right? When we're all forced to do things that everyone's forced to do everything, which I don't think works, because quite earlier on in your life, I think your aptitudes, your interests get established very quite clearly.
Yeah.
So the option should be given, right? Like I was, like the last time I was in Germany, somebody was telling me about how their education system works there. So it's something like that. So even by the time they enter high school, like maybe like our equivalent of class 7 or something like that, they split it into 3 streams. So there is like a science, like a technical school, there is a vocational school, and there is an art school. So basically, and doesn't mean that it is a clear-cut decision. For instance, in class 7, you might go into art school. 1 year later, you might think, no, I actually want to do math. you can shift. It is not
Okay.
like a once you decide you are done for life monthly, but the option
Okay.
is available, right, for people to kind
Oh,
of
okay.
decide what they're good at and start specializing in that right from the beginning. And so just generally be happier, right, and not kind of kill yourself over doing things that you absolutely never liked.
That's epic, dude. I can't imagine something like that and all happens in our country means.
No, that is how education was. That is how.
Yeah. No, we have never been educated. We've only been trained always,
No,
no? Like you were telling, your
it's like a
physics.
very, post-British kind of an education system that we are now adhering to. But
Yeah.
traditionally, our education systems were never so. It was never about producing literate people who can read and write and who can do kind of accounting job, that kind of a thing. That's what we're producing now, unfortunately. Like overall, like, of course, it is also, one can't take that away. It is also a rigorous base, so which is why a lot of Indians get into much more technically adept and skilled jobs as such in that field. That is there,
Right.
but we can still continue to produce that by improving our school education and making it more, making it an education, I would say,
Rather than a training, yeah. Very true. Very
there
true.
only.
Very true. Any other collaboration that is probably happening? Any other, apart from obviously the lockdown scenes, something else that you're actually doing or curating or anything of that sorts?
Many things at the moment. Yeah, I always have like many parallel things going on at the same time at different stages of things. So of course, I mean, now with the lockdown, I'm along with Shweta Prachande. I'm doing a for Ala. So we're doing like a 5-part series for Ala.
Oh, okay.
Talking about like, I mean, just it's like a reflection. It's like take a step back and think about what we're doing with the arts, especially now, right? As we're getting crazy in the virtual world, and it's really like getting a grip over the arts world. So that's one series. So that kind of takes up like most of my time right now. There's always projects running with the auntie, always, right? It could,
Right.
I mean, it could be obviously choreographic, like things where we're dancing with her, which is what we were doing until the lockdown came up, right? She was choreographing stuff, creating a new production. So that's always happening. But she also runs a lot of other parallel projects. So something is always sort of doing with her. I have been working on a few sort of creative projects otherwise also, with like one I'm working with a colleague based in the US, so I'm working another one with a couple of colleagues based in Italy. So there are different things sort of coming up. So there are, like, at any given point of time, there are many things that run parallelly, including like tiny things. Like, for instance, now for the conference that I did in December, the Navadesha conference, I'm just setting up like an archive kind of a thing, like a blog, so that all the material for that conference can be collected under the same roof. So it seems like a very tiny thing, but that takes up your time, and I mean, kind of occupies your time also, right, in an interesting way. So lots of interesting things at different stages of,
Right.
So to say.
Right.
Right.
How has lockdown life been, apart from obviously doing all these curation and things? How much have
there's been two phases in my lockdown life. Okay, first, absolute normalcy. Why? Because I am some person. First of all, I'm a person who likes to be on my own. I'm not like a like, I'm not a let's go party, let's go, Anamari. Like my quiet time, and I love staying at home. Like, even doing things with friends, I'm not like a very outdoorsy sort of a person. Yeah. So for me, suddenly it was like officially sanctioned. My life got officially sanctioned because it's normal, and I was like, yes, this is amazing. So, and like, very honest, seriously, because now, if I can count, I think it's possibly easily 3 weeks at a stretch where I have not stepped out of the house. Like, not even to go for a walk, not even to go to the gadai. Okay. and I am not missing it. I am like that. Okay? Like, so for me, going out into nature means it has to be like properly nature. This going out in the city and walking and all is not my.
Theosophical society is not nature.
It is not nature. Sorry. So, or at least would be. So, first 2 weeks of lockdown, whatever, usually that 2-3 weeks there was like bliss. I was like, this is my life. This is how life should be. Like all my life, I want to be like this. And then it switched modes into this absolute crazy busy. So right now, the last 2 weeks or whatever it is, it's been like an average of like 3 or 4 hours of sleep. My calendar is full of colors from top to bottom. It's basically, it goes like that end to end, right? I have no feelings between one thing and the other. So it's like manic busy.
Nice.
But I mean, I love that. Actually,
It's a nice
like
busy.
this in between, like this. I either like to relax fully, where it's like you don't give me even one thing to do. Like if you tell me one single thing to do, like send this email, I will.
Yeah.
I just want.
Why don't I know.
Being completely busy, like literally, like
Yeah.
I don't have time to
Yeah.
eat, kind of a thing. This in between that
Right.
for me, I feel like my productivity really drops. Like if I have just one,
Yeah, dude. Same here.
invariably I will not do that properly. But when I have 10 things to do, I
Yeah.
do everything properly because I'm like
Oh, like that.
on my toes with everything, right? So yeah, that has been
Right.
lockdown scene so far.
Good. Any movies, books that you've been reading? Some movie that you watched, or some
Yes.
TV show that you watched?
The
or anything of that
most
sort?
recent one I saw was Thappad, which is very,
Oh, you watched
very
Thappad.
nice. Very
Nice.
Like,
Nice.
really highly
Nice.
recommend movie. Apart from that, actually, I've read more books only in the recent times, which has been nice. I caught up on some which I'm sure some people have read like in school times and all, and I never got around to it, like Portrait of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde was
Okay.
recently.
Okay.
I am simultaneously reading these 2 other books, one by Virginia Woolf, and which is more, it seems like some kind of a collection of a lecture that she gave,
Okay.
about writing and about women, about women's creativity. It's something like that. So it's not fiction,
Okay.
it's more like a lecture of hers together.
What's it called?
It's called A Room of One's Own. A Room of
Okay.
One's Own. Yeah, you said that right.
Okay.
And a book
Okay.
by Karen Armstrong on religion, about on God, the
Oh.
idea of God and religion.
Right.
It's like one small, those almost ready reckoner kind of books, but it's like
Right.
thoughts on religion kind of thing. So those are 2 things I'm reading simultaneously. I was also, one of the things I started doing in the beginning of the lockdown was started reading T.M. Krishna's book, the
Sebastian.
No, not Sebastian. I had
Carnatic.
another music I hadn't read because it's one Biblotari book, right? It's not a casual reading book which you can read on the
Yeah, it's quite
kind of
intense.
engage with it. So I've still not finished it, but I started reading that consistently after the lockdown began. So that was also nice. Like when the lockdown actually started and before it got crazy, then all my time between all my classes, right, was grandly devoted to a lot of reading. I was very much enjoying at that point. Nothing else can come to mind right now. Yeah, those are the things. You guys definitely. But I also saw Shubh Mangal Zyada Savdhan.
It's nice, huh? I actually want to watch
So
it.
it's not a great movie as a movie, but I think it's high time we had a movie like that in Indian cinema. I love the fact that it was not caricature, it was not making a statement. It was a very normal love story, right, between 2 men. So I like that about it. Like I feel it's amazing that kind of a movie has come. But as a movie itself, I wouldn't say it's like great or like exciting or anything like that. But yeah, for sure. Very, very, very well made.
I see.
Very nice. I like it.
Okay. Yeah, think anything else you think we can talk on? I don't think, no?
So many things.
Enough,
talk
no?
about the entire world.
So
which is what we...
Yeah, we could talk about the entire world. We could like keep another part 2 also.
Yes. Why not? Do.
Yeah, see? This is her on any day, okay? By the way, I'm just telling this. She's not just telling this like to be nice to me. She's just like this any day. She's like, no problem, we'll do it and stuff. How are you, this sweet man? I can't be sweet to people. Oh God. Okay. So, final parting words, if any. You don't wanna say something to people.
Really, you've taken seriousness level to like, அப்படியே like heart.
Brr. I know.
Please. I'm very grave and I don't want you to end on that note.
Anything, yeah, it could be anything. Like I to say black is black, white is white. I'm like capsicum is green in color. You'll also find red and yellow capsicum.
Out of my mouth. Okay.
Okay, fine. Otherwise, I'll say capsicum is green, capsicum is red, capsicum is white also.
High level philosophy. I will finish it on very mundane note that I have to now, in the little bit gap that I have to do some house cleaning as well as I have to do lunch, making and eating. So,
okay.
Note that I'm going to finish it on.
Super. Next week, one more episode I'll put. Okay, that will also be lengthy only. Don't tell lengthy episodes you're putting. It's a podcast. Idiots, it's podcast. That is how you're supposed to watch it. Okay. Enjoy. Vanakkam. Bye.
Bye.